Hari Om. Let's start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the series on the Vedanta Sangraha. This is a book written by Sri Ramaraya Kavi, and we gave introduction to him. It's called Abhinava Shankara, that is modern Shankara, and he lived from 1875 to 1914. He lived only for 39 years, and he was originally a Visishta Advaitin, or brought up as a Visishta Advaitin, and he had several questions which Visishta Advaita could not answer. And one day he saw the book, or he had an opportunity to see the book Panchadasi that he read and was impressed by it. This is a Panchadasi that we took recently, and is by Vidyaranya Swami. And then he studied more and more, and has written many books on Advaita Vedanta. And this particular one is Vedanta Sangraha, an essence of Vedanta, essential aspects of Vedanta is put in for, as he said, Bala Buddhaye, for the novice people who just want to know what's Vedanta. And we covered the first mantra we are covering, and let's chant that mantra again, and that's the first one we call in the chapter 1. And the chapter 1 we said deals with the Drusya Prapancham. That is the title of the chapter. That is Drusya Prapancham. Prapancham is the whole world, and that is that which is knowable. Drusyam here is knowable, and that's what is going to define defined in the first chapter of the first paragraph. And we'll read that paragraph again. Druk drusyam cha iti dvau padarthau Druk drusyam cha iti dvau padarthau Imau eva chit achit iti Imau eva chit achit iti Jnanam jadam iti cha Jnanam jadam iti cha vyavaharanti. And Saprakashatve Satprakashatve sati Svetara sarva avabhasakatvam drusho lakshanam. Saprakashatve sati Svetara sarva avabhasakatvam drusho lakshanam. Jneyatvam drusyasya lakshanam. Jneyatvam drusyasya lakshanam. So here the defining two things here, Druk and Drusyam. There are only two. Ichi cha do padartho asti. So there are two things. One is Druk is the seer, and Drusyam is the seen. There are only subject and object. I am a seer and this is a seen. And everything that is seen comes under the Drusyam. Seen means seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, everything that is perceived, an object of perception, object that can be perceived, and the one who is perceiver is a seer. These are only two things in the world. And Imau in this, Eva Chit Achit Iti, the same classification parallel is Druk Drusyam, and same thing as Chit Achit, a conscious entity and unconscious entity. So Druk is a conscious entity, Drusyam is unconscious entity. So these are called synonyms. And Jnanam Jadam iti cha. One is knowledge, another is the knowable entity. So one is that a conscious entity, another is that which we can be conscious of. That is essentially Jadam, or unconscious entity. Vyavaharanti. Swaprakashatve sati Svetara sarva avabhasakatvam drusho lakshanam. So now definition of what is druk is given here. Swaprakashaha sati means even though it is self-shining or in addition to being self-shining. So number one is it has to be self-shining. And sati, so itara sarva avabhasakatvam, not only it is self-illuminating, it illumines other things also. And that is called drushaha lakshanam. That is the definition, lakshanam. That is the indicatory definition of the druk. That is the seer. So here defined, a seer is the one who is self-illuminating and also or self-effulgent, and also it provides illumines the other objects. And itara sarvam, that means any other which is essentially drishyam, it illumines that. And jneyatvam drishyasya lakshanam. Lakshanam, the definition of the seen is the seeability. Jneyatvam, knowability. Knowability is the lakshanam, is the quality or attribute of the drishyam. So this is the definition that is provided, and we are doing that a little bit. So trying to find out the drishyam and from our interpretation. So druk is seer, or are the in same either synonyms or indicatory also, it is chit swarupam. So it is of the nature of chit. So swarupam is the intrinsic nature, swarupa lakshanam, whereas the other lakshanas are tatastha lakshanam, that he is going to go into detail later, is the incidental qualifications and is an intrinsic qualification. So it has to be consciousness. So what is a intrinsic qualification? It is that because of which it is, and without that it is not. So that's called swadharmam or swarupa dharmam. So dharmas can be, the attributes can be, we said, is the necessary qualifications, and the other are necessary and sufficient qualifications. And these are intrinsic qualifications of an object, and whereas there are other qualifications which are incidental qualifications. So we differentiate qualifications. One is incidental, and the equivalent word may be tatastha lakshanam in the Sanskrit. That is only incidental qualification. And there are intrinsic qualifications that are essentially that swabhavika lakshanam, that is swabhavam, it has to have that. And in that we differentiate, one is necessary qualification and necessary and sufficient qualification. One is the attribute for it, another is necessary and sufficient. It's called swarupa lakshanam, it's intrinsic nature. So these two have to be differentiated. I'm not sure what exactly ideal Sanskrit words for it, but both are in the swabhavikam, but swabhavik means in their nature. So for example, so what is the nature of salt or sugar? So the sugar nature is, it has to be sweet, and we said that's a necessary. So it's a necessary attribute of the sugar. So if something looks like sugar but is not sweet, we know it's not sugar. So even salt also, sometimes accidentally we put salt instead of sugar because they look alike. And therefore, by looks itself you cannot tell whether it's a salt or a sugar unless you put something in the mouth. Hey, this is too salty. It's a salt, not a sugar. And we say when it's sweet, you know it is a sugar. So it is a necessary qualification. It's a swabhavam to be sweet. But it's not sufficient qualification, but it's not swarupa lakshanam. Swarupa lakshanam, we said, is to be converse has to. That means necessary and sufficient is swarupa lakshanam. That means if it is, then it has to be that. If it is sweet, it has to be sugar, but we know if it is sweet, it need not be sugar, it can be equal or Splenda, so many things are there now. So therefore, sweetness is necessary for sugar, but not sufficient qualification. So sufficient qualification has to means if that is, then it cannot be other than that. So it is a Swarupa Lakshanam. Simple example is H2O is water. When I say H2O is water, water is H2O, H2O is water. So both ways it has to work, and if it is H2O, it has to be water only. That is called its Swarupam. It consists of, in all the objective world, Swarupa consists of the assemblage and presented as it is. But if you try to differentiate it, then it doesn't have its own existence. So it is a temporary Swarupa Lakshanam, not a permanent Swarupa Lakshanam. Water is H2O is temporarily as long as H2 and O are together. If I try to separate H2 and O, there is no water anymore. You have hydrogen and oxygen. If I try to separate hydrogen into electrons, protons, neutrons, then there is no hydrogen. What we have is electrons, protons, neutrons. So each can be separable, and therefore that Swarupa Lakshanam for all objective world is nothing but incidental only. As long as it is assembled in that configuration only, it has a Swarupa Lakshanam. Whereas if you try to decompose it, because they are decomposable, therefore if you decompose it or differentiate further, then the Swarupa Lakshanam goes away, and that's why it is a temporary Swarupa Lakshanam. But Swarupa Lakshanam, if it is permanent Swarupa Lakshanam, undifferentiable, it cannot change any time, and that becomes the absolute truth of that object. And it so happens, as a definition, you will see that the world does not have intrinsic permanent Swarupa Lakshanam at all. All are Tatastha Lakshanams only. Incidental qualification. H2O, water is H2O incidentally as long as H2 and O are together. If more than one oxygen, that is H2O2, then it's not water anymore, and it will be called peroxide. So they are different depending upon how the combinations are. And as long as they are in the same proportion combined together, we call it only its Swarupa Lakshanam. It is Swarupa only because H2O is water, water is H2O. In either way, that statement is valid. So Swarupa Lakshanam is different from the other qualifications of water. It has to be wettability, or it has a fluidity, or other things are additional attributes of water, but the intrinsic attribute, which is Swarupa Lakshanam, is H2O. And same way we are defining now, Druk is Chit Swarupam. It has to be conscious entity. Conscious entity is a seer, and the seer has to be conscious entity. So it becomes a Swarupa Lakshanam, and that's how Vedanta also defines the Brahman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, and it's of the nature of the existent consciousness, and the infiniteness is the nature of Brahman. And here it says Druk Lakshanam is Chit Swarupam. And Chit Swarupam is not a property or a product of the seer. It's not a property of the seer. It is not a product or a property. So the Chit of the aspect cannot be differentiated into a part. It's not a part, because this is important from the Advaita point, because in the later you will see when you hear Visishta Advaita, Chit is considered as a property of the Jiva and Ishvara. Consciousness is considered as a property. In fact, they have two in terms of dharmic jnanam, dharmabhuta jnanam. So consciousness, the jiva has self-knowledge, that's called dharmic jnanam, and also knowledge of something, and these are considered as the property of the jiva. Here it's not a property, it's essential nature. So it's why Swarupa Lakshanam, Chit is Swarupam, it's not a part, product, or it doesn't pervades everything, and it's not, can be differentiated and so on and so forth. And it is also, he said, Swaprakasham. Swaprakasham is, it shines by itself. Shining here is, it is self-conscious entity. Same thing in the Upanishad, in the Chandogya, it says in the Tadaichad, the Sadeva Saumya Idamagram Asid, existence alone was there before creation, which has no distinctions of any kind. Sajate Vijate Swagata Bedarahitam, it is one without a second. And then it says Tadaichata, it saw. That means it is a seer. It saw means it can see. So it is a seer. It is Chit Swarupam. And that's what is. It is not only Sat Swarupam, it is Chit Swarupam also. And there is no distinctions or parts in that. So it is homogeneous conscious entity, which is same as existent entity. Sattayeva Chit, Chittaya Yaham. That's what Ramana Maharshi says in the Upadesasara. So Druk Drishyam, and it is Swaprakasham. And Swaprakasham means self-shining. What does self-shining means? It means it knows itself also. So it is the self-conscious entity. So we gave a simple example as I am self-conscious entity, because this comes in the second paragraph that he discusses also about jiva. But for the time being, when you say I am self-conscious entity, because I know myself. Say, do you know yourself? Of course I know myself. I don't have to go and ask anybody, who am I, who am I, who am I? So knowing yourself, who am I know. Everybody has preconceived understanding that they know themselves. What only problem is, they know themselves as. I say, I am, who are you? Tell me. So say, I am this. We gave a list again, and that is, I am and this. That is the same Druk Drishyam is the totality of Prapancham itself. So I am using this to define I am, but that is not what it implies. I am is by itself, without any this, I am self-shining. So do I know myself? Of course I know myself. Nobody says I don't know myself, and there are no schools to teach you who you are. And the Ramana Maharshi's inquiries, find out who you are, because you don't know who you are. Why you have to find out you are? Because you don't know. Why do you say you don't know? I thought I know myself. And everybody thinks they know themselves. And he says, no, what you know is wrong, because what you think you are this, which you are not. Because you are taking what you are not as you are, because you don't know who you are. So first find out who you are. How am I going to inquire? We'll see that in the text here also. But here it says Swaprakasham. I don't need a means for me to know myself. It says, there's a sun shining in the outside. Hey, I won't bring it. I don't know how to see. Bring a torchlight for me to see the sun. So I don't need a torchlight to the sun. As I look at it, it is a self-shining. Sun is self-shining, so I don't need another light to shed a light on sun for me to see. That's what is Swayam Prakasham. So I don't need a light to see a light. So it's a what is that? I forgot the name. So when you go to a dark room, you are given a torchlight, and this is find out what is there. So when torchlight, I cannot say without torchlight. So I need a light to illumine what is there in the room. Without the torchlight, it's a pitch dark, so I don't know what is there. So I need the light to shine on it for the object to be revealed. And once I put a torchlight, I can see what object it is. And when I look at it object, I see, when I put a torchlight on the direction, I see a pot but sitting in a inverted way. So out of curiosity, I went there and lifted the pot, and there, when I lifted, I saw a candle burning. Now, should I put a torchlight to see if the candle is burning or not? I don't need. If the candle is burning, I should see directly, because candle emits the light itself, is swaprakasham. So it doesn't need another prakasham to illuminate. That's what swaprakasham means. I don't need another light to illumine me to know myself. I am self-revealing. So it's a swaprakasha, means I am self-revealing, and that's how Vedanta rests on that aspect. It says you don't need to do anything to know yourself. All you have to do is remove your ignorance, and you will know yourself as you are. So that says, if you remove what is ignorance, I am this, you are not this, and try to inquire who you are by looking in the direction, then it reveals itself. And that's what, because swaprakasham, it is a self-shining entity. Swaprakashatve sati. So even though it is not only is self-shining, so itara sarva avasakatvam, not only is self-shining, it illumines everything else also. So it's not only light up by its own, it lights everything. That means in the light of that, I can see other things also. Other seeable also I can see. So this is what the original, if you go to Vedic Arati in the temple, there is a sloka, Upanishad sloka, and that occurs in 2 or 3 Upanishads. It says, Natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. So in the Vedic Arati, he is taking a karpuram, that's what they use in the traditionally, and karpuram, and he is putting light at the karpuram, and he is showing is a karpuram in a plate and showing to the Lord and saying this one. What do he say? Natatra suryo bhati. I don't need sunlight to see you. Essentially, Natatra suryo bhati. I don't need sunlight. I don't have a light. I don't have to bring sunlight for me to see you. So sunlight is not required to see you. Natatra suryo bhati. Nachandra, not the moonlight. Tarakam, not the light of the stars. So neither day nor evening, night, no light of anything is needed. Natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti. Neither electricity, flashlight has to come for me to see, otherwise it's too dark. I don't need that also. Why? Chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoya magni. And I am showing this light to see, because it's a garbhagruhi where it's dark there, and arati, you're seeing the light there, and singing this saying that even this light, small light, I'm showing it so that other people can see, but even this is not needed to see you. That's what he's saying, and then showing it. So, kuto oyam agni, how can this agni can illumine you? So nothing can illumine you. Why? This is natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoya magni tameva bhantam. That's Tami, you are the light. So I don't need another light to light you, but you are the light of consciousness. That is called Swaprakashatvam. And he is showing it, saying that you are the light. Then why am I seeing this light? We'll come back to Arati again. So Swaprakasham. So this is Tvameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam. You not only you are light of consciousness because you are Chit Swarupam, but you shine everything else. not only you are a light, but you light everything also, including this light also that I am showing. Because you are called Jyotir Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi. You are light of all lights, and even this light is also lighted by your light only. Why do I need a light to see the light? This light is required. Why? Because if I am blind, if I look at sun, hey, there is a sun, can you see brightness of the sun? Says, I can't see it, I am blind. I need some other light to see the sun, even though it is self-shining. So that I had to be conscious behind it, mind has to be there, senses have to be there for me to see even the light outside. But that light that you are, that Chit Swarupam, even the senses are not needed, anything is not needed, you are shining by itself. So that's why we give an example on the pitch dark room. Say, are you there? Of course I am there. How do you know you are there? It's too dark, you can't see anything. How can you see yourself? I don't need to see myself to know that I am there, because I am there. Therefore, I can see even the darkness also, and also I can see the that I cannot see. So I can see that I cannot see is also because of I can see. So I can see the darkness, and also I can see that I cannot see. Also is the nature. And whereas where I am concerned, I am neither a knower nor a known. Viditamba, aviditamba. You cannot say, I know myself. It's not an object for me to know. Self-knowledge is not like an objective knowledge. It is a self-revealing object. It is self-ascertaining object. Is that. In a sense, I know I am, irrespective of whether anybody says I am not or there. And how do you know you are? There is no question, how do you know? I am aprameyam. That means I am not an object for something to see. So I don't have to see myself to see that I am there. I am self-shining and self-revealing. That's my nature itself. And that's what is called Swaprakashatvam. And that's how we define here as the seer. Who is seer? The knower. He knows himself. And also he illumines everything else. Now we give example of Karpuram and showing in the Arati. So why you are showing and why you are using Karpuram? Karpuram has a property, when it burns, it doesn't leave anything there on the plate. It evaporates as it burns. So it is a special property of the Karpuram. It volatilizes, which means that I am using Karpuram, and in the process it is burned away, leaving nothing there. And the symbolic aspect of it is by burning my karmas, all my vasanas in the light of knowledge, by burning all the vasanas, the Lord reveals itself. In the process, the vasanas get eliminated. That is the symbolic spiritual implication of that arati itself. So we do arati, at the same time we sing this, at the same time the purpose or implication is that in the burning of my vasanas, so Karpuram has a vasana. Vasana means a specific smell, and the vasanas get exhausted, and in the burning of, how do I burn it? Through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, not for arati. It's only symbolic to Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, or the Upasana Yoga. All those things are vehicles to burn away my vasanas, and when the vasanas are burned away, the mind gets purified and the Lord is revealed himself. Upadrashta namantacha bharta bhokta maheshwara. He is standing behind it, and as soon as you start burning, the things get revealed. What is obstructing? The vasana layers are obstructing. You have to burn that away, like you are burning the Karpuram away and leaving all the vasanas out. In the process, the self-shining Lord, yourself, gets revealed. In other words, you will not have any more misunderstanding. I know who I am. And knowledge of who I am is essentially what is required, because ignorance is a problem that we discussed before. So swaprakashatve, so swaprakasham, the Vedantic statement is implied there, that we just say natatra suryo vati. So swaprakashatve sati svetara sarva avabhasakatvam. So all other things are illumined by that. And that is drusho lakshanam. That is the indication of what is the seer. Seer is that who need not be seen. It is self-seeing, and also it illumines everything else. And jneyatvam drusyasya lakshanam. We'll come back to the drusyam aspect, more detail in the next talk. So here we are only unraveling using the statement of the Ramaraya Kavi of the very first chapter, and giving more elaborate commentary on that. With this we stop here now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. All right, Amma.